So this interview was awesome. Here you have a senator being grilled on Israel and Palestine, and Zoran Mamdani.
Anders want to get back to a place where we can disagree on politics and not have it be so, bitter.
So, I hear you on the idea of, you want to talk about the economics and the unifying and cost of living, and I think that ignores a big elephant in the room, especially when you're talking about even Zoran Mamdani. Mm-hmm. The reason Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer don't want to endorse him is because of his position on Israel. The single most viral clip that he had in that election actually wasn't about cost of living, even though that's what he wanted to make his campaign about. His opponents, Andrew Cuomo in particular, wanted to make it all about accusing him of anti-Semitism and attacking him for his views on Israel and Palestine.
So Zoran Mamdani, he wants to have government-owned grocery stores. He wants universal child care. He wants free bus service. Then there was another radical idea. There was 4 radical ideas that's going to help the working class of New York City. This is amazing. The guy's won the Democratic Party, but the Democrats aren't backing him because he's an actual progressive. He actually cares about the working class. You gotta be a right-wing conservative fucking douchebag in order to be a Democrat, because the Democrats hate the progressive wing even more than they do conservative Republicans, which is ridiculous.
So the most viral moment from that entire campaign, I believe, was this moment on the debate stage. Guys, this is E1. Let me go ahead and play this for you, and then I want to get your reaction.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani.
They didn't actually play the whole clip. They asked everybody on the debate stage, what country are you going to visit when you become mayor? And everybody said Israel. Why would everybody in goddamn New York City fucking, Democratic primary visit Israel? Why? That makes no damn sense. They've only killed 400,000 Palestinians. They're only engaged in a goddamn genocide. I'm gonna go visit fucking Hitler. I'm gonna go visit Hitler. The first thing I do, go say hi to Hitler. Are you gonna arrest the motherfucker? Netanyahu's got a warrant for his arrest. He's doing a fucking genocide. You just had a whole bunch of cases. You had a shooting in New York City with BlackRock and the NFL, some building or something. Then you had some sort of stabbing that happened in Arkansas. And when it comes to the sensational media, they'll cover it because if it bleeds, it leads. If it's gory, it's a story. But I'm supposed to believe that anybody in media truly gives a fuck? You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck. 400,000? My God, I'm so sick and tired of seeing all these dead kids on my news feed, on Twitter X. I'm sick and tired of it. How sick do you motherfuckers have to be? You give them food, shoot them. There was that kid, 8-year-old Amir. He kissed the hand of one of the guys that gave him food. He got shot and killed. Not minutes later. You had a girl that had a bullet lodged in the back of her skull, but it didn't penetrate into her skull, into her head, so she was able to live. I saw one Palestinian that looked like he had maybe a quarter of his brain removed. Somehow they were able to save him, and he's, functional, which is amazing. Kids being bombed, their limbs are being destroyed. They're blowing up hospitals, blowing up schools. They're just decimating entire fucking villages. Give me a fucking break. You motherfuckers don't give a shit.
Donnie, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel as mayor?
I will be doing, as the mayor, I'll be standing up for Jewish New Yorkers, and I'll be meeting them wherever they are across the 5 boroughs, whether that's in their synagogues and temples, or at their homes, or at the subway platform, because ultimately we need to focus on delivering on their concerns.
And just yes or no, do you believe in a Jewish state of Israel?
I believe Israel has the right to exist.
Not as a Jewish state?
No,
as a state with equal rights.
This company is going viral for its new process that gives you permanent teeth in just 24 hours.
Now, this was considered very controversial when he said it, and I think the results are in at this point that he didn't win in spite of his position there. He won in part because of it, including, if you listen to Andrew Cuomo's numbers, he won a majority of Jewish voters.
So Zoran Mamdani, okay, that's fascinating. Mamdani won the majority of Jewish voters. So he says Israel should respect human rights for everybody. He doesn't believe in a theocracy. Why? Well, we got the First Amendment here in this country, and we have the Establishment Clause, which means that you cannot have the government establishment establish a religion. You can't choose one religion over everybody else, even if you choose Christianity. What is it, Baptist, Presbyterian? What kind of Christianity are you going to choose? So what's fascinating about Mamdani is that he's broke the mold. Mamdani, not only is he should be the presumptive mayor, he won the Democratic primary by a large margin, and the Democrats should be backing him. You know, that's just politics 101, right? Just be like Chris Christie, you know, the guy won. He's going to be the next fucking mayor, so, you know, do you want a spot in his cabinet? Do you want to, you know, be advisor or consultant or whatever? A lot of these motherfuckers chase power. So, you know, you split the difference. You give some money to the Democrats, some money to the Republicans. He's broke the mold because for a long-ass time, it was not good politics to even criticize Israel. Israel's committing a fucking genocide, you sick motherfuckers. You sick motherfuckers. They need to stop. They need to stop right now. So Zoran Mamdani won because he's opposed to genocide. This is a moral issue.
Inside of New York City. And so what I'm curious for your view on is, while, you know, I would love to debate you on your healthcare policy, I think we need Medicare for all, you think public option, your housing policy, etc. I'm just being really real with you. I don't really hear what you say if you are still supporting a genocide in Gaza. And that's for me, you know, I'm speaking for myself, but I know there are millions of other people who feel the same, that you have to at least cross this sort of moral threshold. And what it indicates to people, and I think part of why, you know, Zoran won so many people in New York City, young people in particular, but Jewish New Yorkers, people across the board, is because it was a sign of, number one, okay, you're focused on New York City first and foremost. Sure. Number two, you're willing to take the heat on an issue that is really difficult for you, where you're being overtly smeared as an anti-Semite. And number three, there's no, you know, entrenched interest that's going to control you. You have a spine, you have principles, you're willing to stand up for something. And so, you know, I'm curious for your reflections on that because of your voting record. And
there's a lot of talk about that Epstein motherfucker. Oh, you're going to be best friends with Epstein for 10 fucking years? Trumpers, maggots, are Epsteiners. They are okay with this Epstein shit. I mean, my God, I've known this shit for fucking 5 years. I mean, now they're just all of a sudden just coming to realize, you know, that Donald was a part of this Epstein fucking train. He's in the Epstein files, bigger than shit. You're just now figuring that shit out? Bunch of Epstein motherfuckers. You got an Epstein nation. An Epstein president. Are you kidding me? And they said that Epstein was Mossad, Israeli intelligence, going around getting all the rich and powerful to go to his little island and get some collateral against them so he can extort them. So it'd be real smart, if he wants to show that he's not an Epsteiner, to stand up for the rights of Palestine. You got two choices with Palestine, either a two-state solution or integration. They're saying neither. Neither. How many motherfucking kids can you kill? Men, women, and children. Everybody. You're killing 400,000 people. Why? America, you want to throw your fucking good graces down the fucking toilet? You want to make sure everybody knows you're the evil empire? You don't give a fuck if you're going to make the troops all around the world an easy fucking target because they're okay with genocide. You don't care about raping kids. You don't care about abusing kids. You don't care about murdering kids. You don't give a fuck. Just admit it. You don't give a fuck.
Where you've stood on this conflict.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the proudest moments that I had in my last election, where I just won on the same ballot as Donald Trump, was that I won a majority of Jewish voters in Michigan. We have a large Jewish population. And I won Dearborn Heights, and Hamtramck. the 3 Muslim-dominated cities. Trump won 2 out of the 3. So I think the thing that I would push back on is voters vote with their feet, right? We have a moment in an election where they get to decide. And there was no issue that was more difficult for me in this last, I would say 6 years, but certainly in this last election, other than this issue, because it's personal. I'm a Middle East analyst by training. And so what I tried to do and why I think I managed to win both those communities is call balls and strikes, literally up to this week, on what's going on.
So let's talk a little bit more about that.
But I think it's important, right? If you're going to push on me, then I think like there's one of us that's had an election and had to appeal to my voters and win. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that Mr. Mamdani won. Or actually, I didn't know his name. I didn't know much about him until he won. But
what's better than Redwood? Redwood Max. Redwood has been our #1 supplement for years for a reason. But
because I think this issue is motivating people in a very visceral and personal way.
Yeah.
But it's not the only issue that my voters in Michigan care about.
Of course.
And the online world is extremely, extremely focused on this. But that doesn't always represent the majority. And I think if I can push back, like if we're out on the road every day in Michigan when I'm there. In some communities, that issue is the #1 issue, 100%. And like, I mean, up till this morning, right? Like people texting my phone and talking about a plan, some of the things we're working on. But I go outside the Detroit area, it's not in the top 40.
So Elissa Slotkins just keeps on obfuscating. She keeps on deflecting when it came to how come the Democrats haven't endorsed Mamdani. She's like, I don't really know what's going on there. I hope that they're meeting with him, but I don't really know what's going on there. I think it's brilliant, actually, that Cuomo is jumping in there. It's brilliant for Mamdani that you have Eric Adams, who's a Democrat, the Democrat mayor right now, former cop, so authoritarian Democrat, and then you have Cuomo, who's also authoritarian as well, and he just lost. So what's going to happen is you got these 2 conservative Democrats, which are going to split the ticket, and I just saw a poll where Eric Adams is on the bottom of the poll, and then Cuomo is, second place, but Mamdani is still beating them both. He's beating all of them. The other guy, the Republican, Chris Slowa. So Mamdani still has this. It's kind of crazy how our politics is like fucking months and months and months. So August, September, October, I guess 3 more months. 3 more months of this fucking campaigning and shit. It's like, give me a fucking break, man. Mamdani has won. Just like when Fox News declared it for Bush, we need to declare it for Mamdani. It's not an experiment. It's brilliant. You know what it is an experiment? Capitalism. That's an experiment. Hey, let's have the nastiest people for the nastiest reasons. Let them run everything, and then it'll all just work out. Are you fucking crazy? What the hell's the matter with you? Well, I want to amass a fortune so I could just get a bunch of money and go to Epstein Island. So you're going to allow these rich, powerful motherfuckers to get all the fucking money, all the power, and then they're going to be so goddamn bored with all their fucking money and power. They're doing a bunch of dumb shit with fucking Epstein. And you motherfuckers think that shit's okay? 99%. I'm on the side of the 99%. I once heard that there's a study or some book or something about how the rich and powerful got so much power, so they were in such a position of authority that they got bored. And so they kept on pushing the envelope just to see how much the people could take. Mamdani is the mayor. Mamdani is the mayor. Mamdani is the mayor. Declare it. Say it out loud. Over and over again. Free bus service, that's good for capitalism. You're going to have workers going to where they need to go, customers going to where they need to go. Universal child care. My God, don't people have to get a job? What are they going to do with the kids while they're at their job? So universal child care is a brilliant idea. government-owned grocery stores. That's a brilliant idea on a number of levels. If any company wants to inflate their prices, then the government could just jump in as a player in the market so they could at least get the prices to come down. You had that one city in Kentucky that owned a gas station to depress the prices. You want to price gouge? Okay, well then we're going to own a couple gas stations, and people are going to come to our gas station because we're not gouging them. You want to gouge? Well, you're going to lose business. You're going to lose money. And if you don't want that to happen, then make sure you offer a good product. Offer a good service and a good product at a good price. Isn't that what a good capitalist should do?
But Senator, it's not just a political issue, it's also a moral issue is what I'm trying to get
sure.
to. So let's talk about those, calling of balls and strikes, if you will. Mm-hmm. So first of all, do you accept that Israel has a policy of enforced famine and starvation in the Gaza Strip?
I think I literally put my name on a letter yesterday or last night that says a policy of starvation, people are starting to starve, and in general. I served in places like Ramadi and
people are starving to starve? What are you talking about? You put your name on a letter last night? Last night is yesterday. And if you know that they're starving, then why won't you stop the fucking weapons? You're going to, vote for defensive weapons but not offensive weapons? Oh, okay. Well then, why don't you just go ahead and give all the fucking bastards in the world a bunch of defensive grenades? Here's a defensive tank. Here's a defensive grenade. Here's a defensive gun. No, this is defensive weapons. Well, offensive weapons are the weapons that are used against Gazans? Give me a fucking break.
Fallujah. I watched in 2004 and 2005 Al-Qaeda terrorists drag American citizens behind a vehicle until they died, right? Horrible, and then string them up, like a lynching.
Okay.
We still had a responsibility to get aid into Fallujah, despite the fact that we were fighting Al-Qaeda cells in Fallujah, and I have been clear about that.
So this is a crime against humanity. Forced starvation is a crime against humanity.
The occupying power has a responsibility to get aid into the war zone. Period.
So
by the law of war.
So in addition, do you accept that the Israeli plan, as reported by Haaretz, as discussed openly by ministers like Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, as backed by the President of the United States, is forced ethnic cleansing?
I think we have, as recently as yesterday, the Prime Minister of Israel talking about forced migration into certain areas and then potentially out of the country. Mm-hmm. That is not legal.
Later on, Elissa Slotkin is going to call Israel our ally. There is this Machiavellian idea. Some king, some fucking guy, was it Medici? Might have been the Medicis. But the guy had ruled over, Italy or something with an iron fist. And then there was this one town that was getting unruly, so he sent one of his best guys there who was known to be an authoritarian, and then he cracked down on everybody, and then he went too far. And then the dictator went ahead and deposed of the little dictator, and the people were satisfied with that. Because it's like, shit, if he just, basically threw his friend under the damn bus, well then he solved the situation. Maybe they thought it was a necessary precaution at the time. You had the Nelk boys that just interviewed Netanyahu. And they're getting a bunch of, pushback, but that's, I would arrest him. I would citizens arrest Netanyahu at this point. If I came across that motherfucker, I would citizens arrest him. No, you can't murder 400,000 fucking goddamn people and then pretend that you had nothing to fucking do with it and that you're a good guy and that somehow you're doing something good. You're taking America down. This isn't America first. It's America last. This is Joe Biden 2.0. It's horseshit. It's Genocide Joe all over again. And then if Epstein's got the goods on fucking Donald, and so now Israel's using that shit against him, but it's out there. It's already there. Donald would get the Nobel Peace Prize if he would actually just stand up for Palestine. He was able to get the ceasefire at first because he put a little bit of pressure on Israel. That's all it took, was a little bit of pressure. It's been an asymmetrical relationship the entire time. You got two people that's fighting and you just always side with one person over the other. You're not being fair. And since we have purse strings, since we have military strings, we got diplomatic strings, why would we not tell the pit bull, our pit bull, to fucking stop fucking killing people? If your pit bull's out in the loose in the damn neighborhood and bites somebody, that's your responsibility. They already have a bunch of money. Why do they need our $3 billion every fucking year? $3 billion.
That is not on any international standard since World War II. And I've been clear about that. So I would ask for a little bit of an open mind.
Well, what I would ask is, listen, I'm a YouTuber. You know, I have my words. That's all I have.
Yeah.
But you're a United States Senator.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not the president, but you have power. So what are you going to do? Because so far what we've seen, I mean, you voted for some of the aid that's been used to massacre children and innocents. You know, you have backed Israel, as far as I can tell, you know, from your voting record at almost every turn. You voted for a definition of anti-Semitism that would, you know, codify anti-Zionism as anti-Semitism. You voted as a member of the House to sanction the ICC for indicting Benjamin Netanyahu, who you just admitted is a war criminal, you know, by your own words. So are you going to join Senator Angus King, Senator Bernie Sanders, in saying no more aid to this country that is committing war crimes against innocent civilians?
I think
arrest Netanyahu. I want to hear Elissa Sloktins say she would arrest Netanyahu. If she came across Netanyahu, she would arrest him. You saw them push down that Senator Alex Padilla in California. So if they don't mind pushing damn senators down and putting handcuffs on the damn senator, why wouldn't you want to put fucking handcuffs on a goddamn war criminal motherfucker that's killed 400,000 fucking innocent people? The massacre of the innocents, isn't that how Jesus was born? Moses and Jesus were both born out of a massacre of the innocents. I thought the Jesus story was bullshit because it's like, oh, come on. King Herod did the same shit as Pharaoh. What is up with this? The kings are always just killing all the babies because, the Messiah is born amongst the babies, so we got to kill all the babies. Who the fuck in their right mind would just massacre a bunch of innocents? Well, hell, America and Israel, apparently, they even bombed that Catholic church, the same Catholic church that Pope Francis would call every week. Why are they bombing Christian churches? Why are they bombing Catholic churches? We're supposed to be a Christian nation, so why would we support a theocracy that supports a different religion that's doing massacres and genocide? And it's easy with that whole anti-Semitism thing. I like Jon Stewart. I like several comedians. Larry David, Silverman. I don't care about your religion. In America, you get to be whatever religion you want to be as long as you're not committing a crime. If you don't commit a crime, express your religion however you want to. Wear your yarmulke, light your menorah, have your little prayer rug, pray out in public, pray before your meals, talk about God or Allah or Buddha or Aqua Buddha. It's okay to be religious. I'm okay with people being religious. I'm not okay with people committing motherfucking mass slaughters. There's a goddamn guy killed 2 kids, Chapman, and he was the last person that was executed in the state of Kentucky, I believe. He was the last person executed. He was definitely executed. I just don't remember if somebody else was executed after him. But that was justice. He killed 2 kids. I mean, that was 2 eyes for an eye, right? So that was 1 eye for 2 eyes. So if anything, that was actually a little underwhelming. That wasn't really justice. But he got what was coming to him. He fucked around and he found out. Burbridge, during the Civil War, every time Confederate killed an innocent prisoner of war or a civilian, Burbridge was taking the Confederate prisoners of war and killing 2. You kill 1 of ours, we kill 2 of yours. That would stop Israel's shit. Stop sending them money. Stop sending them fucking guns and weapons and bombs. They're spending billions and millions of dollars in our fucking elections. Talk about election tampering. You can't get a bigger AIPAC. How come they're not registered as a foreign lobby? Give me a fucking break, motherfuckers. I thought being America first means you care about America first. This is a moral issue. Even you had that Cuomo, Chris Cuomo, he said that, I know why you're for Palestine. That's because you're on the side of the oppressed. Yeah, motherfucker, that's exactly right. I'm on the side of the oppressed. When it comes to oppression, you can turn a smart person into a fucking douchebag. You're destroying the person. You're destroying the oppressed. And the oppressors destroying themselves, but it's a love of death, and only the oppressed. You can only get rescued. We're going to be the policemen of the world. We're going to get into foreign conflicts. We've got to be on the correct side. We're not on the correct side when it comes to Israel-Palestine. We're not on the right side. We're on the wrong side of fucking history. The rest of the world fucking sees this shit. How long do you think we're going to get away with it as the evil empire? Who the fuck is going to welcome the evil empire into their midst? Yeah, stormtroopers, Nazi stormtroopers. I'm on the side of the Jedi. I'm on the side of the Americans in World War II. I'm opposed to evil empires. I'm not even sure if a good empire does anything for the working class, but I know a goddamn evil empire don't do a goddamn thing for the working class. You motherfuckers are committing a genocide! A genocide! Why are you committing a genocide?
First thing, if you're asking about what to do with power, and I would offer that right now Democrats own nothing.
Offer nothing.
Don't play powerless with me. You're a United States senator.
I understand.
Don't play powerless with me.
Who runs our foreign policy? I just think it's interesting, right? That there was a
don't play powerless with
when
me.
Democrats were in charge.
There was a protest in Manhattan yesterday.
Okay. I think it's fair to say, just to be honest, that back and forth, like the number of protests that go on now versus before.
Well, they were part of your political coalition.
Well, that's
right?
not. I mean, Senator Slotkin.
That's fair.
Obviously, I'm here.
Yeah.
I was very upset over the Biden administration policy, and as you can tell, I'm very upset over the Trump administration policy.
Yeah.
So let's deal not in strawman, but me
but
here
in
and now.
terms of so the tools that I have, the tools that we have in general, to me, the most important thing is a pressurized campaign to get aid into people who are starving. That to me is the number one, because that's the one is urgent and today. And that.
But will you cut off aid to Israel so long as they're committing crimes against humanity?
There is a difference between a weapon to protect a country from incoming missiles versus other type. Offensive and defensive weapons are different.
So would you support offensive weapons ban? Like, would you stop any offensive aid to Israel?
That certainly, to me, would be a place to look, but I'm not going to cut off a blanket next sale on a defensive weapon.
We're talking about offensive weapons. That's somewhere to look. Say yes! Say yes! Why would you even consider for offensive weapons? You're talking about, goddamn starvation. You're fucking saying it's a goddamn motherfucking war crime and shit. Have you ever even said it was a genocide? You had Marjorie Taylor Greene who's saying it's a fucking genocide. This is fucking ridiculous, man. Democrats have lost their goddamn minds.
I also reject that because, for example, if Senator Slotkin, if you were asked to support defensive weapons for Iran, defensive weapons for Russia, you wouldn't back that.
No, but Iran, but
they're defensive. They're just protecting civilians, right? So how is it different?
But because Israel's being shot at.
So is Russia.
So is Iran. Yeah. So is Russia.
Ukraine's shooting at Russia right now.
I'm sorry, this is the difference between allies, partners, and adversaries.
Why is it an ally then?
Hi.
Yeah, an ally. Talk about the worst friend ever.
The shooter who murdered
It's like being friends with that damn Chapman.
was able to shoot
you're friends with Marco Chapman, huh?
Right now?
Why don't you cut that friendship off? How's that an ally?
Just like
how's that a friendship?
Lithuania right now, like an allied relationship or a partner relationship is a long-standing relationship of information sharing and diplomacy, and that is to me. It's not a
we could get information and diplomacy from Palestine. This is horseshit.
Is our ally or not? We're allied or not, and sometimes we have big breaks with allies, right? Sometimes we have difficult moments with allies. Sometimes it goes the wrong way with allies. But an allied relationship is a long-term relationship.
It's hard for me to understand why we should ally. Like, I'm sure you believe in or claim to believe in liberal human rights. Why would we ally with a nation that is committing a genocide and live streaming it?
Can I ask literally, this, I think about this from the mirror image way, because I do not support the things that Donald Trump is doing, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm an American. So as
an American, I hope that, my God, I don't know about these contractors, these military contractors. I just heard this guy was talking about how they were just shooting people like fucking turkey shoot. They came to get food and then they shot some people and the guy was like, oh boy, I sure killed that guy. He fell down. Someone did a stun grenade. Hit the woman in the head. She dropped. She's dead. That's not me. Aren't you supposed to defend the Constitution? Defend America from enemies, foreign and domestic? You're creating terrorists. You're killing a bunch of innocent people, and a lot of motherfuckers don't like it when you do that. That's why Marco Chapman got the fucking electric chair. Deservedly so. Hell yeah, Netanyahu should be arrested. Hell fucking yeah, he should be arrested. And we need better senators.